Okay, off we go, everybody. Welcome to this inaugural day. Unfortunately, I did not theme this with with our new president. I probably should have. At any rate, we're going to get off and do some. We're going to practice our yoga together. There will be. I've got a couple.
Hey, Tom, I just accidentally put you on mute. I'm sorry. I was trying to mute somebody else. Can you and I can't unmute you. So I'm sorry. You'll have to unmute yourself. Completely my bad.
Hi, everybody. Matt muted me by mistake.
Sorry. Thanks.
I thought he was giving me the hook. Well, welcome to this beautiful day up here in Wisconsin. We have some sunshine. That's great. A great day to practice yoga. Guess what? It's not dark anymore. Remember when we were practicing in the dark at 4 o'clock? So let's celebrate that. Pretty much a straightforward practice today. If you have a block near you, we might be using a block. I'll suggest that in a couple of poses. We'll be taking our time for some of the common poses that we do, but I've been doing some reading and trying to find some remedies for poses that sometimes can lead to back pain. So I'll share that information with you and those poses, and it might be helpful for you. I mean, that's something I struggle with all the time, is with chronic lower back pain. Also, we'll be trying to, I'll cue you through what I call a Yogi Smile. If any of you have been to a museum or actually the British Museum, they've got halls and halls and halls of ancient statues of the Buddha. And of course, they stole them all when they were rulers of India, but that's another story. But you notice how the Buddha always has a little smile on his face. So let's see if we can get a smile on our face for some of the poses that we engage with today. Okay, off we go. I'm going to get my tea, as I always do. You're welcome to get some yourself. I have my tea in the refrigerator today, so it's not hot tea, iced tea. But here we go. I welcome all of you to get in the tabletop position, to settle ourselves in as we begin our practice today. And so once we find ourselves tabletop, let's just settle in. And then we'll send our hips back, widen our knees to the width of the mat, and we'll take our first pose for the day, Child's Pose, Balasana. Knees come wide, toes come together, hips go back. Gently rest your palms on the mat. Set your forehead on the mat as well. This is a time for us to relax and really connect with the moment. The best way to do that is by focusing on your breath, on the sensations that you experience as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Pay particular attention to the expansion and contraction to your diaphragm. Honor that in and out sensation. And also be aware of the air as it passes through your nasal passages, so through your mouth and your throat. There'll be thoughts coming in and out. Y'all, we're doing things today. You have plans tonight, but let's let that waterfall of thoughts just pass through us, right? They're not going to stick. It's like Teflon thoughts. We're just going to let them slide off. Find some moments of stillness and enjoy, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 breaths in your child's pose. Gently rise off the tabletop. setting up for a cow-cat series. Take a breath in and drop your belly low. Just let your belly hang naturally. No reason to kind of stick up your butt. I used to cue that, but if I'm starting to cue that, my back gets sore. So I'm going to say, when you do a cow pose, just let your belly sag. Let your belly do its work. Raise your chin up, gaze forward. Find a couple of breaths in this first cow pose. On your next exhale, we'll take cat pose. Arch your back like a mad cat. Surrender your head to gravity and gaze between your knees. Inhale, cow. Drop your belly, create that hammock shape. Chin comes up, gaze forward. Exhale, cat. Arch your back like a mad cat. Surrender your head, gaze through your knees. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Flow through 2 cycles by yourself, matching your breath with the pose. Try to find your rhythm, your dance, your practice today. Okay, after you've done your reps by yourself, let's sit our bottom on the mat and straighten our legs out, and we'll take a seated twist, Tadasana, which actually translates to half king of the fish pose. I don't know if this looks like a fish, but off we go. Okay, here we go. And again, I'm going to try to change the cues a little bit different this time and see how you like them to honor our back a little bit more than I had done in the past. Let's see how it works. First thing I'd like you to do is draw your right heel in. So what you're trying to do, if you can and your body's able to do that, is to create a perpendicular plane with your right shin in the mat. I can't do it, but if you can, that's great. But don't pull your heel in super tight. Leave a little gap there. Then reach down with your right arm and place your palm on the mat, fingers placing back. Now this is just a little bit different. I haven't cued this before, but exaggerate the extension of your left leg leading with your heel. And as you do this, you'll feel a slight pivot of your pelvis, a slight rotation, okay? So create some extension there. And then reach with your left arm and hug your right knee. And at the same time, push with your right arm. And then what you want to do, if you can, draw your weight more to the left side. So 90% of your weight is on your left buttock, okay? And as you do this, your right buttock almost starts to float off the mat. And finally, when you've reached this pose, set your gaze gently over your shoulder. Now, the reason we're emphasizing the extension here is we're allowing our hips to rotate. And what that does is take some of the pressure off your lower back. Go ahead and release and straighten your legs out and kind of jiggle them around a little bit. I'm going to turn off the dryer. It's beeping at me. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's take the same drill, this time on our left side, honoring our back as we take this pose. So draw your left heel in. Remember, if you can, create that perpendicular line. Leave some space between your heel and your bottom. Reach your left hand back, fingers facing the wall. Now, exaggerate the extension of your right leg, leading with the heel. Hug your left knee with your right arm. Transfer your gravity to the right side. 90% of the weight is on your left buttock, right buttock. Your left butt floats. Gaze over your left shoulder. Push with your arm. Hug your leg. And notice where this twist is happening. It's really in your midsection, isn't it? We're trying to not twist in the lower back of the lumbar. We're really twisting our innards here. Take a full breath in and relax. And come into a gentle cross-legged seated pose. And if you can sweep your arms over your head, then draw the midline down to heart center and find some stability in this spot. We're going to really focus on our facial muscles today, and we're going to try to let them relax. So in this seated position, draw your attention to the muscles in your face. So many times in yoga, we're doing all these elaborate poses with the large muscle groups, and we forget about the muscles in our face. So we're going to give them some love today. So the first thing I want you to do is simply relax your jaw. Relax your tongue and notice how the tongue kind of rests gently on the roof of your mouth. And draw your attention to your eyes and imagine that your eyes are just floating on a lake or a still bit of water. They're very restful. Then finally focus on your forehead and see if you can smooth your forehead out by completely relaxing all the muscles in your forehead, through your eyes, through your mouth. Breathe in and out, and as you exhale, breathe that gentle relaxation, that openness to all the muscles in your face. Then focus at the very center of your being, your heart chakra. Start a gentle smile there. We're going to smile inside out, just the opposite of a beauty pageant smile, which is from the outside in. This is inside out. So smile in your heart and see if you can move that energy up your throat, through your spine, into your face. And you won't even have to do this, but the corners of your mouth are going to turn up just a little bit. Enjoy this pose, this restful pose, this peaceful pose for a couple of breaths. Periodically through our practice, I'll remind you, suggest that we soften our facial muscles. And I even might want to say, smile a little bit. We'll call it our Yogi Smile, especially when we take difficult poses. All right, let's untangle ourselves. See if we can swing ourselves back down to tabletop position, and we'll set ourselves up for our first downward facing dog. Palms come forward about 4 inches. Curl your toes under your feet, send your hips high, creating that inverted V, and enjoy your first downward dog of the day. As usual, we're going to pedal our legs back and forth as we settle into this pose. Exaggerate your hip movements as you're taking your downward facing dog and as you're pedaling out here. Shift your hips back and forth. Listen to what your body is asking for. See if you can deliver it. Go ahead and hinge forward into a plank pose. And then hinge back. Collect a breath in, hinge forward to plank. Exhale, push back. We'll do that one more time. Breathe in, hinge forward to plank. Exhale, back to down dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana. Then settle down. Find some stillness here. Focus on the sensations you experience as you're breathing, and remember to soften your facial muscles. Relax. Collective breath in. Gaze forward. Gently step to the top of your mat. Let your arms dangle down. Surrender your head. We'll take a ragdoll pose, Uttanasana. Reach out for opposite elbows or opposite biceps. Surrender to gravity. I want to sway back and forth. Now take an inventory of where you're feeling the stretch right now. Is it in your hamstrings, in your back, in your neck? Go ahead and release your arms, and as you breathe in, we'll come to a halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, place your hands on your shin, set your gaze a little bit forward. Center of gravity moves forward like you're a swimmer in starting blocks. Relax your arms as you do this. Breathe through this pose. Soften your face. We'll take another Uttanasana Ragdoll, but this time I'm going to offer something different, an option. Take a peek at your feet, okay? Now what I'd like you to do is move your toes closer to the center so it's a mini pigeon toe, okay? So your feet are about at hip width. Heels splay out just a bit, toes come in. So what's happening is we're opening our hips up here. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, forward fold. And see if there's any difference between this pose and the previous pose. Can you sink deeper? Where do you feel the stretch? Is it more comfortable? Is it less comfortable? By and large, what happens is that your hip sockets move to the center just a bit, and it's going to let your pelvis sink lower. So the stretch is more in your pelvis than it is in your back. So in your own practice, you might want to experiment with this pose versus the regular way that you do. It's up to you. Take a full breath in. Exhale all the air out. Now breathe in and slowly rise up to mountain pose. Rest your arms at your side. Relax your shoulders. Relax your back. Natural curve to your spine. Find a point in front of you to set your gaze for a couple breaths. Soften your face. Relax. Maybe create that little smile that we've talked about earlier. Collect a breath in. As you exhale, reach over your head for mountain pose Tadasana, palms facing each other. Here we'll also experiment a little bit. And sometimes when I cue the pose, I say relax your shoulders, let them sink down into your shoulder sockets. So kind of do that. You're extending your arm and you're sinking down low. But another alternative, and supposedly it's better for your shoulder, is just to do the opposite. Extend your arms long, like you're reaching for a grape or an apple on the tree. What's happening is you're rotating your scapula forward, so you're really reaching high and stretching long. A different way to really experience a mountain pose. Take a breath in. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to high plank pose. Option to drop your knees here, or you can let your knees float off the mat. Stay strong, push through with your arms. Relax your face. Chaturanga Dandasana next. So hinge forward just a bit, lower to your elbows, and see if you can hold this, or you can go all the way down. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down we go. Setting up for some baby cobras here. Fujingasan. Take a breath in, lift your chin off the mat. Really a gentle back bend here. Let your hands rest on the mat. Chin comes up, chest forward. Find your breath. Take a breath in. Exhale, set your right cheek on the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, left cheek on the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Right cheek on the mat. Inhale, baby cobra. Left cheek on the mat. Flow through this series. Finding your own breath and match that breath with the pose. Just enjoy that moment. Enjoy the flow going back and forth. Nothing else matters, does it? Now, as you rise up for the last time, come all the way to tall arms, to a full cobra. And as you're going into full cobra, remember to let your pelvis come off the mat. If you can, try not to drop your pelvis. That creates too much stress on your lumbar region. Lift your head up. Another option in this pose is to take an upward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Push off with the tops of your feet to create a gap between your knees and chin and the mat. Find your breath, soften your face. Down dog is next. Tuck your toes under, push all the way through. Take our down dog, 3 collective breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, set your gaze forward. Exhale, stop. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to mountain pose. We'll flow sun salutation A 4 times. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back, high plank. Breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, set your gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach tall for mountain pose, really stretch. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank pose, breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, set your gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, really stretch high for mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive down. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank your palms, step back, high plank pose, breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, set your gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop to top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to mountain pose. This time, flow through sun A all by yourself. I'll meet you at standing Samatiki heat. Once you're in standing, raise your arms overhead, draw your palms together. Travel the midline down to heart center. Soften your face. Soften your forehead. Find a fixed point in your room, starting from your center, from your heart. See if you can send that smile throughout your body. I'm going to take a quick sip of my tea. a quickie. Got some balance poses for you today. So we'll try a couple balance poses. If you want, you can have a chair nearby or something to help with your balance, or you can go, you know, do the tightrope without a net. It's up to you. The first one is actually the first pose I learned in yoga. This is 20 years ago. So what we want to do is extend our arms out like wings, transfer the weight of your body to your left foot. And all we're going to do is hinge forward. We're going to take our right heel and drive it toward the ceiling and see if we can find a parallel position for your torso, floating above your mat. If you fall out, no big deal, we'll get back in. Your next exhale, rise up, see if you can keep that balance, and we're going to come to a one-legged mountain pose, Ekapada Tadasana. Come to the one-legged mountain pose, lift your right knee up, arms extended over your head. See if you can find that balance. Now, as long as we're in the mountain pose, we might as well take a tree pose, Fujingasan. So take the lower part of your right foot, set it on your left shin, extend long, create branches, find your balance. Soften your face, relax. This is fun, right? Take a breath in, create some extension, and relax. Let your arms rest down. Imagine that I'm throwing all of you a hula hoop. So let's hula hoop one direction. Going back to the 1950s, and we'll go in the opposite direction. We'll take that same series. This time on the other side of your body, extend your arms wide. This time bring the weight, I think, to the right side of your body. This time lean forward, float your left leg up, leading with your heel. See if you can get your body parallel to the mat. No big deal if you can't. Now gently come back up. So let's go to a three-legged. Would you believe a one-legged dog? A one-legged Tadasana. Arms over your head. Lift your knee up. See if you can find some stillness. Find your balance here. And let's see if we can grow our tree Vrikshasana. Take the bottom of your left foot, set it on your right shin or your right thigh, not your right knee, because we don't want to mess with our knees, do we? Extend your fingers long, create those branches. You might want to peek up a little bit to challenge yourself. If you really feel confident, you might even want to close your eyes. It's very tough to keep that balance, but it's kind of fun. You might want to try. Relax. Kind of kick your legs out a little bit. I'll throw everybody out a hula hoop. We're back in the 1950s. Go one direction. Hula hoop that way. And then we'll hula hoop the other way. Fantastic. We'll go through a triangle series, Trikonasana. Got a couple tricks for you here. Take a breath in, reach high in a mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to high plank pose. Breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, send your right leg high. Exhale, draw your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Right knee to your nose. Pause. Inhale, extend. Exhale, plant your foot between your palms and rise up to warrior one. Establish your pose. Right knee over right ankle. Straight back leg. Left foot turns in gently. Extend your arms over your head. Palms facing each other. No need to do anything with your pelvis. Leave it just where it is. The further you sink down with your right leg, the more intense this pose becomes. Find some stillness here. You might even want to take that yogi smile. Take a full breath in, then sweep your arms to your side. Lightning lunge. Your body or your torso comes over your right thigh. We'll hold this for a couple of breaths. Gently set your gaze forward, down at the floor. Then move the center of gravity forward and launch your left leg up. Airplane pose. This is not my best airplane pose of my life. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let's go back to Warrior One. See if you can stick that landing. Extend high. Take a breath in. Hinge forward and frame your right foot. We're setting up for a pyramid pose, Fujingasan. You might want to draw your left leg in a little bit. Toes pointing forward. Hands on the mat. Surrender your torso to gravity. And let your head travel down toward your right leg. Depending on your own body, you may be able to touch your nose to your knees. It all depends on how flexible you are. Next, we'll take standing splits, Urdhva Pracarita Eka Tadasana. So lean a bit forward and send your left heel high to the sky. Find your balance here. You may want to experiment by lifting one hand off the mat, then the other. Some of you might even want to try both. It's up to you. We'll take half moon pose next. Ardha, bring the weight to your right hand. Send your left arm and left hand high to the sky. See if you can maintain your balance. Set your gaze gently at the mat. Also might want to look at the wall. Collect a breath in. As you exhale, set your hand back down, then tip back and return to that pyramid pose. Walk your hands back. Feel the stretch in your hamstrings and your right leg. Surrender your head. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, rise up and at the same time, maneuver yourself into a Warrior Two pose. In Warrior Two, we are stacking our right knee over our right ankle. Extend your arms long. Set your gaze over the middle finger of your right hand. Sink down with your right leg. Sink down to a point where it's right on your edge, where you feel it. And now, once you found that pose, here's where we'll take our Yogi Smile. We've got discomfort, but we're going to breathe through it. We're going to soften our face. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, straighten your right leg. Now, if you have a block, grab it right now. If you don't, that's okay. We're going to take a variation of a triangle pose, Trikonasana, with a couple twists. So if you have a block, fine. If not, we'll still figure it out. So what I want you to do is take your block, set it on the outside of your right foot, okay? And then we're going to be very mindful about our foot position in this pose. So let's look at our right foot. And what we want to do is just a little bit pigeon toe your right foot. So you're moving your toes more to the center. That's going to rotate your hip. It's going to open your hip a little bit more. You're rotating your leg. In your back foot, your toes should be just pointing a little bit forward. Okay? Then extend your arms just like you're doing Warrior Two. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, reach down and support yourself on that block. Send your left arm high to the sky and gently gaze against the wall. Now, what's different about this pose is that concentrate on your pelvis. Let's see what's going on. So your pelvis is not totally vertical, is it? Your pelvis is actually rotating a little bit, and that's what we want in this pose. Now, if I was to cue and say, flatten your pelvis like you're being squished between two walls, try that. See what happens. As you flatten your pelvis, what's going on in your back? Ouch. So why we're taking this pose is we're letting our pelvis go where it wants to go, right? And see if you like this pose. Does it feel good? For me, it's a much more restful pose than doing a triangle pose the other way. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, rise up. Pivot your toes so your toes are facing the wall. Setting up for a goddess pose, find some comfort here. Goal post your hands for this goddess pose. Take a breath in. Uttara Konasana. Take a breath in. Extend your crown to the sky. Exhale, squat down between your legs. Continue to squat until you kind of feel your edge where you have a little bit of discomfort. Here again, we want to relax our eyes, relax your forehead, your mouth, smile from your heart all the way into the room. It might be uncomfortable, but we've got this. We're relaxed. Take a breath in and then sweep your arms all the way over your head for 5-pointed star. Extend out long. This is a power pose. When you do this pose, I bet you're going to feel like Joe Biden, right? Feel like Joe Biden at the inaugural ball. Take a breath, sweep your arms down, place your hands on your hips, thumbs facing back. Take a breath in, lift your chin up, crown comes up. Exhale, Prasarita, hinge forward. Let the weight of gravity provide all the force in this pose. Once you've taken the Uttanasana, I welcome you to reach down to your ankles. You also have a couple other options you may want to explore. You can walk your hands between your legs to the back. You can walk them forward. You can grab opposite elbows or opposite biceps. Take the options that make sense for you. Wherever you are in this pose, place your hands under your face, gently walk to the top of the mat, lift up your heels, frame your left foot, then step back to high plank. We'll take a side plank pose here, going to the right, take your right hand, move it to the left a little bit, snug your toes and heels together, rotate your heels to the right, feet can be on top of each other or staggered. Also drop your lower knee if you wish. Extend your left hand high. Hips come toward the sky. It might be hard to smile through this pose, but give it a shot. Take a breath in. Relax. Flow your arm down. Come down to tabletop. Full, deep breath in. Exhale, sink down into a child's pose, Balasana. Take a little rest. Come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Hands come forward a bit. Send yourself up to a down dog. We'll go that through the triangle series we just did, this time on the opposite side. Take a breath in. Extend your left leg high. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Left knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, plant your left foot between your palms. Rise up to warrior one. Establish this pose. Back foot is flat. Left knee over left ankle. Sink down as deep as you like. Swing your arms up. And in this pose, this time let's find that focal point in front of you. Just set your yoga drishti. Gaze at it. And yet see everything that surrounds what you're looking at. Soften your face. Take a breath in. As you exhale, straighten your left leg, lean forward for pyramid pose. Draw your right foot in a little bit. Frame your left foot. Surrender your torso. Gravity wins this argument. Feel that deep stretch in your hamstrings. Standing splits. Being just a bit forward. Send your left leg to the sky. Urdhva Prasarita Eka Tadasana. It's a mouthful. Half moon pose is next. Ardha Chandrasana. Bring your weight to your left hand and left foot. Right hand reaches high to the sky. Set your gaze to the tip of the mat or directly in front of you. Create the extension in your right arm and your leg. Take a breath in. Return to standing split. On your next exhale, maneuver yourself back. Pyramid pose. One final stretch here. Collective breath in. Exhale. Maneuver yourself into warrior two. Here again, we're going to sink as deep as practical into your warrior two. Exploring your edge just a little bit. Set your gaze over your middle finger. Smile through this pose. You've got this. We'll take triangle pose this time, Trikonasana. If you got your block set on the outside of your left foot, kind of remembering those gentle cues that I provided for you a little bit earlier. Take your toes, put them straight in front of you. Maybe pigeon. Actually, what we want to do is we want to swing our toes a little bit to the left. Back foot pretty much stays the same. Straight leg, arms out, hinge forward, reach with your left hand onto that block. Let your pelvis fall where it may. Right arm reaches high to the sky. Set your gaze on that wall. Notice what's happening to your pelvis and back. You have the extension and the vertical line in your arms, yet your pelvis is really turning where it should be turned. Collective breath in. Exhale, rise up. Setting up for goddess pose. Utthana Konasana, reach your arms over your head, draw your palms together. As you exhale, sink down. Find stillness in this pose. Relax your body, relax your mind, find your breath. Collect a breath in. As you exhale, reach your arms over your head, extend your fingers, 5-pointed stars, send that power out through your body. All that good energy shooting out of your fingers. Prasarita Padangusthasana is next. Reach behind your back this time. Interlace your fingers. Take a breath in. As you exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Let gravity pull your torso down. Surrender your head. Option to raise your arms to the sky. This pose is always so relaxing. Feels great to have your head below your hips. Release your arms. I'll cue some stretches here. Place your palms underneath your eyes. Let's stretch to the right. Reach your right arm high, gaze over your right shoulder. Take a collective breath in. Exhale, plant your palm. We'll take that same drill on our left side. Breathe in. Stretch the left side. Reach high with your left hand. Look over your left shoulder. Collective breath in. Relax. Now I'm going to cue some hand walking back and forth between our feet. You can take it or leave it, up to you. Walk your hands over to your right foot, bend your right leg. Feel the stretch in your hammy. You might want to come to your left heel as you do this. And then you might even want to draw your hands to heart center. This is the Bruce Lee pose. Let's do the same thing. Let's walk our hands over to the left side. Deepen that stretch with your left leg. Come to the right heel if you wish. Draw your hands to heart center. Great place to soften your face and relax. Hands come to the mat, come to the center one more time. Walk your hands toward the front of the mat. Spin your heels so your feet are facing forward. Step back with your left foot to meet with your right. We'll take side plank, this time on the left side with your left hand under your eyes. Smidge your feet together, rotate your heels to the left. You can stack your feet or set them adjacent. Also option to drop your lower leg down. Extend your right arm and hand high to the sky. As you're taking this pose, see if you can extend your hips even higher as if they're being pulled toward the ceiling. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep your arm down. Come back to tabletop. Send yourself back into a child's pose and take a little rest here. Come out of your child's pose to a tabletop and gently lower your body all the way down toward your stomach. So you're lying on your stomach, rest your chin on the mat. Draw your palms next to your shoulders, setting up for a Cobra pose. Fujingasan, this is a full Cobra. Now I'm going to offer maybe something a little bit different here. Sometimes when we take this pose, we're cued to zip our feet together, right? We're going to do the opposite. This time, widen your feet to a comfortable distance. My feet are shoulder width. And then take a breath in and come all the way to tall arms. And as you're coming to tall arms, let your pelvis come off the mat exactly like it wants to. Do not tuck your pelvis, creating more stretch on your lumbar spine. Just let the pelvis come up. Extend your arms and take your scapula, your shoulders, and see if you can send them toward your back. It's kind of a funny feeling. And at the same time, take your jaw and make it parallel to the floor. Set your gaze forward. When we take these options with the Cobra pose, it's going to place less stress on our back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower yourself down to the mat. And set your left cheek on the mat. And just take a couple breaths to rest. One more Cobra. Take a breath in. Come to tall arms. Let your pelvis come off the mat. No need to drop your pelvis. Lift your jaw so it's parallel to the mat. Set your gaze forward. Take a breath in. Tuck your toes and maneuver yourself to downward facing dog. Setting up for half pigeon pose, Setta Bandha Sarvabha. No, half pigeon pose is Ekapada Rajakapatasana. Send your right leg high. Exhale, draw your right knee to your right elbow, then set your leg down. And send your hips back. At the same time, straighten your left leg. If you need a block under your right hip, please do so. You can come to your forearms, or if you have the flexibility, you're welcome to stretch your arms out. And let the torso be pulled toward the mat by gravity. If you have tight hips like me, you might want to bend your left knee a little bit. Slowly maneuver yourself back to tall arms, untangle your leg. Come back to a three-legged dog, extend your right leg high. And once you're in a three-legged dog, take your right foot, cross the midline over to the left, draw some circles, giving some attention to your hip. Moving back for downward facing dog, setting up for half pigeon, this time with our left leg. Take a breath in, extend your left leg high. Exhale, draw your left knee to your left elbow. Set your leg down. Send your hips back. Right leg straightens out. Come to your forearms. And if you're able to do so, I welcome you to extend your arms. And let gravity pull your torso toward the mat. This is really a restful pose. And your next exhale, place your palms next to your shoulders, push yourself all the way up, and finally extend your left leg high for a three-legged dog. Once you found that dog, take your left foot across the midline, the right side of your mat, draw some circles. Then come back to a downward facing dog. Drop your knees, come back to the tabletop. Set your bottom on the mat, extend your legs long in front of you. Arms come out, stretch in front of you. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself down to the mat, setting one vertebra on top of each other. Once you've found this pose, draw your heels in toward your body. Let your knees splay out. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana, supine butterfly pose. One hand on your ribs. One hand on your abdomen. Feel the rising and falling of your diaphragm. Draw your knees together, lift your feet off the ground. Happy baby pose is next. Reach for the bottoms of your feet, or you can capture your big toes with your index fingers. You can lie flat on your back if you wish, or you can arch your back a little bit, do some rocking. Make this pose your own. Gently release your feet. Extend your legs long. Let your feet splay open. Gently rest your arms at your side, palms facing the ceiling. Setting up for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Close your eyes. Focus on the sensations that you experience as you breathe. Finally, we'll draw our attention back to those muscles on our face. Make sure your jaw is relaxed. Gently rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Eyes relaxed. Forehead relaxed. Starting at your heart, send a smile throughout your body. Notice the corner of your lips just turn a little bit up. I'll meet you here in 2 to 3 minutes. Draw your attention back to this moment, room, and the space that you're in. Take some small movements with your fingers and your toes. Draw some circles around your wrists with your hands. Draw circles around your feet or your ankles with your feet, rather. Reach your arms over your head and long for a full body stretch. Stretching out the right side. And maybe stretching out the left side. Gently roll to the right side of your body. Place your right head on your right bicep. Pull your heels in a little bit. Just enjoy this moment. Take your time and gently maneuver yourself into a cross-legged seated position. Once you've found that spot, settle in, rest your hands on your knees, close your eyes, focus on your breath. See if you can soften your facial muscles one more time. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer harm. May you be well in body, mind, and spirit. May you be at peace. And may you be happy. Take a breath in, reach your arms over your head, palms together. Draw your thumbs to the bridge of your nose. Exhale, bow forward, namaste. Nice job, yogis. Always a pleasure to meet with you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.